Yes, here we are. Very good evening to you. Thank you for joining us and welcome to Look North. The headlines from us this Friday night. The charity urging people not to wear Halloween costumes they say make fun of mental health patients.
For those people living a life with mental health problems, each time they see this, it's just reinforcing that stigma.
Home care for people in North East Lincolnshire is amongst the lowest funded in the whole of the country. Confusion over parking in Beverley after one driver successfully overturns a warden's ticket.
And I'm at Craven Park in Hull, where the world champions Australia make a long-awaited return to the city.
And sleeping in the sky, the old military helicopter starting a new life as a holiday cabin.
And a lot of dry weather to come this weekend, but I'm afraid it will be quite cloudy. I'll be back later on in the programme with all the details.
Good evening. Mental health campaigners are urging people not to dress up in costumes like straitjackets or escaped asylum patient suits this Halloween because it's distasteful and stigmatises people with a mental illness. David Smith from the mental health charity Mind in Hull says that the craze means patients with genuine illnesses could be left feeling like monsters who scare people. Others say it's all just a bit of fun. Jill Archbold has this report.
From pumpkins in Denmark to spooky selfies in Hong Kong, the imagery of Halloween is familiar worldwide. But here in East Yorkshire, one charity boss says people should think twice before wearing costumes themed around mental health.
For the people dressing up and going out, it might just be a bit of fun. But for those people living a life with mental health problems, each time they see this, it's just reinforcing that stigma over and over again, that they're different, that they're dangerous, and at Halloween time, that they're monsters.
The dressing up has already started in Lincoln, where a 7-foot skeleton led a family-friendly parade. So do people here think mental health-themed costumes are offensive?
Nobody wants to offend, but I think we've become a culture where everyone is offended by so many things.
It's taking the mick out of something that's quite serious, but at the same time it is Halloween, and that's like it is just a joke.
It's 3 years since Tesco withdrew its Psycho Ward outfit and Asda its mental patient costume following complaints. But a quick online search shows popular websites like eBay and Amazon continue to sell similar items. The owner of this fancy dress shop in Hull says she's never stocked such items because of a lack of demand.
Well, I've never sold them. And I've never been asked for them. And if there was, it's usually for Hannibal Lecter. I've never had anyone say they want to be a mental patient. And if they do, I can't see that really people think it a bit as offensive. I just think it's a fun night out, Halloween, and people just go for it.
Sally Burke's daughter Maisie has received specialist mental health care for the last 3 years. For Sally, such costumes are distasteful.
It's upsetting as a parent because she's been called those names and they do hit her hard. She does take them personally. She's a human with feelings, and I think that's what we need to remember as a nation, that, you know, we need to be a bit kinder to one another.
Mental health campaigners are calling for manufacturers to stop selling these products, but in the meantime it's hoped people wanting to dress up this Halloween can find fun in fictional characters. Jill Archbold, BBC Look North.
Distasteful and offensive, or is it just a bit of fun? Be asking for your views on this one. That's got people talking in just a moment. But first of all, Dean Burnett is a doctor who works with mental health patients. I asked him whether dressing up in a straitjacket for Halloween is just a bit of fun and isn't meant to upset or offend.
It's not intended to offend anyone, I don't doubt that. I don't think people who make and buy and wear these costumes are actively going out their way to try and offend people with mental health problems, but the fact of the matter is it does portray a negative stereotype, and it does actually make them look and sort of seem a lot more dangerous than they've ever have any hope of being. So whether you intend it or not, it does have a negative consequence. And
but it's supposed to be scary because it is Halloween, and that's all about being scary, isn't it?
It is, yes, but like that, you don't have to invoke some genuine problems and disorders that people have in order to do that. Like, you're far more likely to be hit by a bus than attacked by someone with a mental health problem. But a scary bus isn't a costume, so it's kind of damage in that respect.
I had a lot of response on this on Facebook. Stephanie says, I don't think anyone is mocking mental health patients by wearing these types of costume at this time of year.
Again, not intentionally so, but it does portray a very, very damaging and negative image of people with mental health problems, and they struggle to be accepted enough as it is. So when other people who don't have these problems dress up like this at Halloween, it is quite an offensive thing to do.
A lot of people have got no time for this at all. Just one of many. For goodness sake, this is pathetic. Whatever we do in life will upset some part of the community. Don't you think there's an element of truth in that?
There's always going to be someone who's not going to be happy with it, but we say a part of the community. We're talking people with mental health problems like that. They make up up to a quarter of the population. That's a large group of people who already have hard enough lives as it is. They don't get the time they need. They don't get the respect. They don't get the resources. They're told to put up and shut up, and that's not offensive. Like, a lot of people said the same thing about owning slaves. Just give them a good job and stuff. They don't know any better, and that's not really fair. We've learned a lot since then, and hopefully we'll do so here as well.
And is it just some people that are worrying on their behalf, or do these people who are affected, are they offended by these costumes?
According to most people I've spoken to, yes. Like, I work in the psychiatric field. I know a lot of mental health awareness campaigns, and yes, they are genuinely quite, they work hard to be accepted and tolerated. People are intrinsically afraid of mental health problems anyway, so to have this, maybe it's just once a year, but to have this constantly happening it's always a step back for them. It's
I'll
a lot
be
of hard work.
asking for people's views in just a moment. Just finally, Kerry says, I have mental health problems. It doesn't bother me. I laugh about my issues a lot of the time.
I'm sure she does. That's fair enough for her, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people struggle really hard with it, and they don't have the confidence or the ability to express themselves because of the negative stereotype around it, and this just makes that worse for a lot of people.
And your message to those who've got those costumes or going to wear those costumes in the next few days is what?
You can put some fangs on it, be a vampire instead. No one cares about vampires, they aren't real, it's fine.
Mr. Burnett, thank you very much indeed. Well, are some costumes worn at Halloween offensive, or are they just a bit of harmless fun? Have the costumes chosen just gone too far that are available at the moment? Here's how to get in touch. Think it's just fun, or is it offensive to some with mental health issues? Will you